Matchless Amplifier Company. I'm with Phil Jamison, and we're going to talk about their very special amplifiers. Some of you are probably aware of the boutique amp craze that happened a while back, really in the 90s was sort of the beginning of that, and spearheading that was Matchless Amplifier Company. And their amps were quickly adopted by a lot of top players, and also collectors, amateurs who really cared about their sound. One of the things that they do differently is that they don't build a mass-produced amplifier. This is an entirely handcrafted amplifier built out of premium components. And you know, you may look at the sticker and say, huh, that's a lot more than something I could go down the store, down the street to my guitar superstore and buy a mass-produced amplifier. But the difference is pretty apparent when you plug the guitar in and your ears start to perk up and you realize that you're really getting something for that money.
Right.
You're getting a handcrafted amp, and it sounds like it. And all the components in the world won't save it if it's not a great amplifier. So Matchless started out with some amplifier designs that have sort of become the benchmark for a lot of other builders, actually. And they've also developed a lot of new designs under your helmsmanship, wouldn't you say?
Yes,
so
yes.
Thanks for seeing me today.
Thanks for coming by.
My pleasure. So let's talk a little about what you guys are doing now. What you have an amplifier behind me that I would love to just
this
load
is
into my car and drive
brand
off
new
with.
one. This is actually the prototype. Brand new amp. It's our first one that we've done that's on a new platform. I'm using a lot of different techniques to build this amp rather than just hand wired and point to point. I'm using some circuit tracing style. There is a board in there. I am using point to point. I'm also using a turret style. The turret style is what a lot of other amp companies will call point to point, but we're going to go ahead and call it turret since what we normally do is a point to point thing. Basically, the philosophy behind this was to overspec the board, overspec the tracing, the parts, and to make it much easier and quicker to build. So it doesn't take 15 to 18 hours to build one amp. We can competitively build an amp just like many of the other companies are doing, and offer a better price that's a little more in reach for the end user.
And that's probably more suited to the economy right now, because there are a lot of people that now realize that their current amp doesn't really quite have that extra 30% that a really fine amp would have, and they want to hear that.
Right.
But it also, they look at the sticker and they go, so this is this is going to be more affordable.
This will be,
but it's still using that overbuilt, philosophy.
Right. It's very much matchless.
You could tour the world with it and not worry that
Absolutely.
it's going to break or something like that.
Yeah. It's very much in the matchless philosophy.
What's the name of this amp? Do you have a name?
I don't have a name yet.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm still working on that. This amp has been a year and a half in the making, and basically there's been a lot of other companies that are able to make something similar to what we're doing, but they're putting them on boards and they're charging far less than what we possibly could on our hand-wired stuff. So now we're able to sort of level the playing field and do what many of the other amp companies out there have been doing.
But it's built right here in West Los Angeles.
Yeah,
it's not being shipped like different components from other places I won't mention. Okay.
It's all built right here in the factory. Every bit of it. The only thing we have made outside the factory is the cabinets, which is, everyone does that.
Right.
So,
but you still build the cabinets with the same type of aesthetic, and you're still using what is it, birch?
Yeah, normally we use birch. The first ones that I made of this in birch I found them to be a little bit too heavy, a little bit cumbersome.
Mhm.
I switched over to the Italian poplar.
Mhm.
The poplar is much lighter wood. It's extremely expensive, but it's lighter and it's got a really nice plume to it. You know, almost
Mhm.
like a violin or a cello has got a sort of, you know, resonation.
Really contributes to
Yeah,
that.
it really
its
makes
own
for a
unique
lot of
characteristic of
sound.
resonance. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh-huh,
absolutely.
Yeah,
So yeah, a lot of time, a lot of thought, and you know, well over a year in the making went into putting this together.
And you've managed to maintain the retro look that I've always loved about the Matchless. You know, because I bought one myself. I was one of the first adapters, 92. Yeah, it was like, whoa, you know, I heard that, and I kind of went like, oh, what is that? What was that chord? Who just played that? And I walked in the other room and I went like, okay, that's it. What do I have to sell to buy one of these? You know, and I never will sell the amp because it sounds so great.
Good.
So you've still got the chicken head knobs.
Mhm.
And well, I have toggle switches, but you have these type of flip switches on here.
Yep.
And
We're using the rocker switches now,
Mhm.
15 amp rocker switch, so it's
Mhm.
extremely heavy duty.
Mhm.
Basically, that was to give me a sleeker profile,
Mhm.
and as you may know, or many other customers know, those extremely expensive military style switches break very easily if they get bumped up against something in transport, you know, putting it in the car, or somebody goes by, or their shirt or something snags on it.
Right.
They can snap. So I wanted to eliminate that, and also give it a new look. You know, give it a new feel, something a little bit more modern, but not completely modern.
Right.
Still using the Celestion G12H30 speaker in here.
Do you do anything different to that speaker? Is
Yeah,
it voice specially with your specs?
We
or-
modify them in-house.
I see.
And yeah, we're still using the same transformers. It's the exact identical transformers that would be found in a C30.
Well, what kind of
I'm using
transformers?
stand-up transformers.
Stand-up transformers.
Yeah.
Look at that big honking thing.
Yeah, it's a heavy-duty
Yeah,
30-watt
yeah,
transformer.
you're not going to find that in the typical thing. I mean, that looks like, you know, that's military spec.
Yeah, definitely. It's an iron core paper bobbin transformer. Yeah, and 16 gauge steel. And we did something a little bit different with our chassis this time around. We're using a powder coat. Normally we use zinc plating.
Why did you switch to that?
Well, we wanted a nicer, more elegant look. And no matter what, even with the zinc plating, after a period of X amount of years, it can get rust damage. So I wanted to do something new. I went with a glossy wet black. We're doing the tube shields and the transformer covers in the same glossy wet black look.
And I notice you have like a metal grill in the back for the ventilation.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, I know these things can generate some heat because look, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
This isn't a modeling amp.
Right. Yeah.
The original modeling amp,
Yeah.
right?
And
it
it
models
is-
off of real tubes.
Yeah, it's all tube.
It's all tube.
Yeah. I'm also using recessed lighting, so you probably can't tell with the lighting in here, but on a dark stage, the entire amp right here will glow, and it just looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a really cool
absolutely
look.
stunning. Yeah.
It's one of those, wow, what is that?
Yeah.
That's a cool look.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely packs a punch. This cabinet is a little bit deeper than most of our other cabinets, and
But it's a portable size.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you could put this on one of those hand trucks, and it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Or put it in a flight case, of course.
Yeah.
And so how many watts is this? Did you say?
It's 30 watts. It's got a high-low power switch where it can drop down to 15.
Okay, so it really splits the wattage.
Yeah.
And the size of the speaker is a 12?
It's a 12.
It's a 12?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is about 30 watts, and is this technically Class A? I know that term gets used so much, and there's so much confusion about that.
Yeah. I mean, people will definitely argue Class A means single-ended output transformer. It is wired to Class A. It's cathode self-biasing.
I see.
Okay, with no negative feedback.